Hello and good morning. I am so thrilled to be with you and to be present with you and to open up our heart space together and to grow amongst each other, but more importantly, for all of us to grow within ourselves. Who is ready to heat up the liquid love that flows within us and is ever present and is divinely gifted to us? The liquid love is what will be heated up today, and we're going to have so much fun, and there is going to be so much joy in this room because there already is tons of love and joy, and we will just rock the house down with it as we move forward. So what exactly is love and the liquid love that flows within us? Think about it this way. Think of your skin as the layer that holds in the liquid. Think about the walls of a pool. Think about the walls and the edges of a glass that holds in the liquid. Think about an aquarium. That is your skin. That outer layer that is just something very thin that holds in something quite powerful. The pounds of pressure that water creates against a glass is quite significant. So think about it this way, that the power within, the water within an aquarium or any other substance or situation is strong, and we have to have something that contains it. The blessing is that the skin is very breathable, correct? It is an organ. It absorbs. And think about all that liquid love that flows within you with great radiant light and immense power. And the blessing of it having been contained within the skin is that the skin breathes. So it radiates out that power and that energy. Now the question is, how do we make that liquid love flow to its fullest power? How many of us are stuck in a rut? How many of us wake up in the morning and go, oh my goodness gracious, I have to do this all over again today? Our thoughts have power. The words that we are telling ourselves have power. And the more power we put towards the negative side of what's going on in our world, the more dense and weighted that liquid love becomes, and it cannot flow freely. Think of it like a lava lamp. If you don't plug in the power, it will sit at the bottom, and the little blobs of red and various colors will not flow easily. So what are you telling yourself throughout the day, the minute we get up? I have been just as guilty as anyone out there. The alarm goes off and you go, really? Already? That's a thought, and that thought has power. And that creates the weight in our world. So how do we shift that? How do we switch on the liquid love? How do we turn up the heat? How do we plug in that power It takes patience and it takes practice. I ask myself all the time, in fact, this on a note card, I keep in my car. It says, "Are you in a state of deliberate practice? Master it." Become the master of your own thoughts. It makes no difference, although we think it does, and we allow it to penetrate through us. It makes no difference what anyone else thinks. Believe me, I spent years absorbing everyone else's perceptions. And there are many ticks on my timeline that reflect that and reflect how unhappy I truly was. And those capsules of time were never really capped off. But we all have to go through the process of those ticks on our timeline, the thoughts that penetrate from other people's perceptions and words upon us. The opinions and perceptions of everyone else projected onto us is only based on their experiences. And what they think based on their experiences will enhance our life. I've been told before, well, you can't do that because you can't afford it. Who's to say that I can't afford it? What is the ulterior motive of that person stating that? Maybe it's that they want me to stay. They want me to stay in that environment because it serves them. And that's one of my truths. That's a scenario where I believed that I couldn't make a shift in my life because there weren't funds. There were plenty of funds. It just that it probably wasn't going to be the place that this particular person thought I needed to be in. And that means like an area of town. I couldn't move out because I couldn't afford it. I could afford any place. It just may not be the place that they think I should be. And ultimately, it was for their benefit to keep me around. Does this resonate with anyone? In any particular situation where you allow other people's perceptions of you and their opinions penetrate through that breathable skin that we have, and it affects how the liquid love flows within us. Self-doubt, disrespect for ourselves, and really when it comes down to it, it is all based on someone else. So the way that you can empower yourself is to, again, think about that precious layer of skin that holds in this amazing liquid love, and that's your protection. For just 1 second, I want you to imagine a situation where you might be dealing with projections, where you might be dealing with someone else's opinion. Maybe it's that you have to go into a meeting with someone that doesn't make you feel 100%. Whatever it is, personal, professional, take a minute, everyone close your eyes. And I want you to think briefly about that scenario and situation. Now pay attention to your body. Do you feel light? Do you feel free-flowing? Do you feel like yourself? Do you feel expansive? Or do you feel constricted? Do you feel tight? Now, take a minute and I want you to envision yourself surrounded by a beautiful protective layer. What color is it? Is it a beautiful, radiant, soft white light? Is it soft pink? Whatever color it is, it's yours. And think about that protective layer, almost like a cocoon that's protecting the caterpillar as it's transpiring and transitioning into a butterfly. And it holds you tight like a big, amazing, divinely given hug. And even though it is so light and airy, and it makes you feel that way within, you know that that protective light is there to hold space for you to be who you are, and that no one and no situation or scenario will penetrate through that beautiful layer. And it's soft and fluid. It's not hard. So hold that into your thought, into your imagination. Visualize it, really feel it. Notice how your body changes. Are you more relaxed, more present, more fluid? And that protective layer around you, as I said before, is very fluid and it is not rigid. So, now, hold that. Now imagine yourself going into a situation, a scenario, which before would have made you contract and not feel so good. Imagine yourself walking in with that protective layer, like that beautiful cocoon. And yes, the other person or the other situation, the flip side, whatever you're going into, they're still going to be the person that they are. And they will probably try to penetrate through. So with love and that beautiful protective layer being soft and fluid, when they project their opinions and their comments and their perceptions onto you, it's like a ball that lightly touches and bounces off. So if you can hold that thought of being in deliberate practice and mastering the art of heating up that liquid love by protecting yourself, by imagining that protective layer, and being able to be fluid with it and with grace, present yourself to this situation and imagine those little balls of opinions, of other people's words, of other people's perceptions, just lightly bouncing off. When you can practice that on a daily basis or whenever it's needed, then you will show up differently. And that radiant light, that liquid love will penetrate through your beautiful layer of skin and will radiate out. And people will be affected by it. They will notice a shift in you. When you walk into a room, you look different. People can't put their finger on it. Hey, did you change your hair color? Have you lost weight? You look different. You look a little bit lighter. You're not as stressed. Did you start a new relationship? Because you're glowing. No, I didn't start a relationship with someone else. I started a relationship with myself. And I had a change in my conversation with myself, and I switched my story, and I'm in a state of deliberate practice, and I'm mastering that every day. And whether or not you actually say that to the other person, that's up to you, but you can hold that inside and you can simply say, I don't know, but thank you. Thanks for noticing. And you and your inner being, the liquid love, can have a good laugh and go, isn't this fun? Let's do it again. And let's do it again and again and again and again and again. And that's how you master it. You're gonna stumble. I always say, if you stumble, make it part of the dance. You've all seen those videos, those bloopers where people like stumble all over themselves and they get up and they start doing that funky dance. And they make light of it. Turn up that liquid love and give yourself grace. If it didn't work out the first time and you walk into that scenario and that situation and you allow, because everything we experience, we are allowing. We are allowing these types of people into our life. We are allowing discomfort. We are allowing love. We are allowing joy. We are allowing everything. So if you do run into a situation where you have allowed opinions and perceptions to affect you, that's okay. You are arming yourself with the word awareness. When you can become aware of how someone is coming through to you or how they are penetrating through that protective layer and you are allowing them to affect you, when you become aware of it, you can stop yourself. Years ago, when I was dealing with divorce, being a single mom, having to get involved in the workforce again, I had my pity party. And I had pity parties for years. Years. I thought I had resolved them, but not really. And I realized that everyone has the right to their pity party. It's how long you stay at the party that matters. So when you start to become aware of things, you can start putting a stop to how long you're staying at your pity party. The woe is me. One of my favorite lines from Maya Angelou. I cried the day she died. What an amazing spirit. Was I heard her in an interview and she said, find a way. If you don't have enough money, find someone that does. If you don't have the education, find someone that does. There are people out there that are willing to help you. But you first have to become aware of what you're doing to yourself so you can ask the right questions. You can find someone to help you. We are in a constant state of expansion if we choose to be. And every single person in this room is just like me. You deal with everything this human life throws at us, just like me. It's a matter of whether or not you want to continue on the same cycle that's been going over and over again. So you've been in a state of deliberate practice in something that doesn't work for you, and you don't feel that way, don't feel all that great. It becomes that light when you turn inward and you go, you know what? I am becoming aware that I do not want this anymore. And I need to find a way to make those shifts in my life where I don't go down that road anymore. We all have patterns. We've all been taught patterns. And it becomes hardwired within ourselves at a very young age. And our environment creates a lot of those patterns. But the gift of free will, the gift that we have been given, is that we can become aware of what's working for us and what isn't working for us. And how in the world are we going to know what works for us if we don't know what doesn't work for us? So that's where the word grace comes into play. If you allow that particular situation, scenario, person penetrate through your protective layer, give yourself grace. We all have to be aware on how it makes us feel, and then we can make the adjustment the next time. And it falls in line with anything from whether you want to become healthy through eating healthier foods. For me, it came down to alcohol. Does it make me feel good? Not really. I shifted, my body started telling me, even with the first sip in a social setting, our world is surrounded socially by that substance. And I started paying close attention to the way it was making my body feel. I would take a sip of wine and it would be like, it would go down and it would spread out into my stomach and my whole system. I imagine these beautiful caregivers within looking up at me going, from within, looking up at me going, oh girl, you're doing this shit again to me? You know I don't like it. Why are you doing this? So I became aware of that, and now when I'm in a social setting, I choose more wisely. Do I want to feel good, or do I want to not feel good? Do I want my body to be happy with me, or do I want it to fight against me? And that's for me. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe you have a pattern. We all have patterns. Anyone else? Yeah. Becoming aware of who you're hanging out with. Jim Rohn says we are the average sum of the 5 people we hang out with most. That was a profound statement for me. Profound. I started looking at the people I was hanging out with. Did my phone stop ringing? Heck yeah, it did, and I couldn't be happier. Releasing the things that aren't working for you allows space for you to bring in what is working for you. I had a friend who was getting ready to retire, and she had been in the educational system for a very, very long time. And she brought to my attention how hard it was for her to get rid of all these papers and all of the educational materials, supplies, all of that. At the same time, she was like confused and not quite sure what she wanted to do with the rest of her life. And as she was sharing this with me, I said, well, think about it this way. When you have a cup, there is the edge, right? And right now, your cup is so full of all the materials and the things that you've collected over the years that your cup is spilling over with all of this. And if you were to take the time to eliminate the things that don't serve you anymore, when you were involved in the educational system, it served you. But now you're moving into a new phase in your life. So by gifting them to the person that's going to take your place, or gifting them to an organization that can use them, or just going through and eliminating in general. Think about the cup and how much room there is available to you now to fill it up with brand new, wonder-filled adventures. And she looked at me and she said, I never thought about it that way. So when you allow yourself to shift into that awareness, that deliberate practice, the art of mastering your own environment, by releasing the people that aren't serving you, by releasing the material things that aren't serving you, by releasing the thoughts that are holding you back, by releasing those, you create space to fill it up with wonderful, expansive, empowering, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful moments. And it allows space for that liquid love to flow. Remember I said all that negativity, all of those perceptions and opinions, if you allow them to penetrate, they become really heavy, and there's no way that the essence of who you are can truly flow within you. Am I making sense? Some of you will get this. Some of you are ready to receive this, and some of you aren't quite so ready, and that's okay. We are divine beings that are unlike anyone else. We are originals. And the things that we have to offer this lifetime are important because they're unique, because they are one of a kind. So if you are able to start releasing what isn't serving you, you are creating space for you to fill it up with goodness. The average sum of those 5 people definitely have shifted because I eliminated the ones that weren't working for me, and I allowed 5 new people and then some to come into my life and to be a blessing. And my average sum went up. Is anyone else ready to heat up liquid love and to create space for new people, situations, scenarios? Good. Because it becomes a ripple effect. So it's like you've dropped yourself in the water one more time and you're the center and it ripples out. And the more that you heat up the essence of who you are, that liquid love, the more ripples you will create. I mean, think about water molecules constantly in movement. And when it's cool, they move slowly. When you heat it up, they move rapidly. So think about those ripples, because what we tell ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, is radiating outward. And the unique gifts that we have will ripple out and it will affect other people. That's the reason why when you walk into a room, when you tune into the essence of who you are, you heat up that liquid love, you walk into a room and you have done nothing different except changing that ripple effect and that vibration and the movement of that vibration within you. That's why people notice, because you're rippling out. So change the way that you're thinking about yourself. When you wake up in the morning, here's something that I do. And I know it sounds a little corny, a little cheesy, but it works. I wake up in the morning, not all mornings, okay? I'm still in a state of practice. But I get up in the morning and I go, oh, thank you, sheets, for keeping me warm last night. Thank you, alarm, for waking me up on time. Oh, I cannot wait to start this day, because there is something beautiful and wonderful that will come out of it. How will you show up today, Erin Paige? What makes you feel good in this moment? Well, what makes me feel good in this moment are these sheets that keep me warm. And then I walk around and tell everything that it's my favorite. It's a brand new day. Oh, thank you, cup of coffee. You are my favorite cup of coffee today. Oh, shower. You are my favorite shower I've experienced today. You are the most beautiful toothbrush I've ever seen. You are my favorite toothbrush today. And all you have to do is focus on today, the present moments. Excuse me. Be in the present moment and own that tick on your timeline, which is one day. In Reiki, one of the principles is, and it starts with just for today. Just for today. Just for today, I will see the good in all people, including myself. Just for today, I will not anger. Just for today. Don't borrow trouble. My ex-mother-in-law used to say that. I think it was her grandmother that had said it. Don't borrow trouble. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. And when we feel anxiety and fear, it's either we are focused on the past or we are focused on the future when those come in. We are not in the present moment. So just for today, be a radiant light. And however that looks for you. It is my hope, it is my sincere hope that you take a minute to turn inward and realize that you are a gift of love. And that you have this liquid love, this pure essence that is unlike anything else in this universe. And that you choose step by step, just for today, just for this minute, just for this second, that you are going to plug in that liquid love and you are going to add some heat and you are going to allow the essence of who you are to flow freely. Be in a state of deliberate practice, and you will start to master what's working for you and what isn't working for you. You are loved. You are unique. You are one of a kind. And you have a special gift to offer this universe. And it is time for you to tune in to what's going on inside and find a way to release that beautiful light and the beautiful power that you hold within. Thank you very much for listening. If there's anything that I can do to assist you, help you, guide you, please let me know. You know I love you. Even if we've never met, I love you. Now go out and be a radiant light and go live an amazing life. Thank you very much.